Hi, thanks for tuning in and welcome to our size 5 Pampers diaper review. Now we're going to start from most expensive to least expensive with the Swaddlers, Cruisers, Baby Dry, and Luvs. Now the Swaddlers and the Cruisers are often the same price, but sometimes you get a couple more diapers per box in the Cruisers. Cruisers always come in a purple box and they have purple tabs, just like the Swaddlers, yellow box, yellow tabs. I like the Swaddlers for little babies. They've got this cool little markers here to show you kind of where to put the Velcro on the front of the baby. They've got this cool little wetness indicator that turns blue so you can tell how wet your baby is, even when you're a novice parent or caregiver. Swaddlers are nice and soft, as are the Cruisers. Baby Dry are pretty soft too. They don't have a plasticky feel, it's more of a cloth. And inside, they're all pretty similar. The Swaddlers, I think, have the highest back to them, which is nice for those big poops. Cruisers have a pretty high back too. The Baby Dries are really small for their size. I'll have to say, for that main reason alone, I'm really not a fan of them. But that's just my opinion. I feel like they're always a size too small. And I'm also comparing Luvs. They're really similar to the Baby Dry, just like the Cruisers are similar to the Swaddlers. Now the Swaddlers and Cruisers are pretty much the same except for this wetness indicator as far as I can tell. Also on the inside, Swaddlers have this kind of neat little mesh inside of them, which I think keeps them a little bit drier than the rest of the diapers that just have plain cloth, so that the dampness doesn't necessarily get right on their skin, but it's a little bit more in contact than with the Swaddlers. Everything else, the gussets are pretty much the same, maybe a little bit more taut and more flexible on the Cruisers than on the Swaddlers. And I feel like these two diapers are in a class of their own, and it's really kind of hard to compare them to the Baby Dry and the Luvs, because you really kind of do get a little bit more for your money for these. If I have the money and the availability, I'll probably pick the Cruisers or the Swaddlers, whatever's available. Again, Baby Dry, really, they keep the baby dry, that is true, but they don't have these neat little tabs, which, you know, eventually you don't need them anymore, but it's nice to have for the grandparents. They have a little bit more plasticky feel to them, just like the Luvs, and they've got these dye things inside of them. The gussets are kind of similar. And I'll just say they do an adequate job in a pinch, but they're not my favorite because they are really small. Now the Luvs, you know what? I found a coupon for them and I got a box for $5.99. They're really similar to the Baby Dry. They're actually a lot cheaper than the Baby Dry as well. They've got the same pretty much gussets, same stitching. They are almost identical as far as I can tell. So if you're going to shell out for Pampers Baby Dry, you might as well spend a few more bucks and get the Cruisers or the Swaddlers. But in a pinch, I would find that Luvs might work just fine. If your baby's a little bit on the bigger side, you might want to size up as opposed to the Cruisers or the Swaddlers. But I know it's all matter of opinion, but Luvs does an adequate job. I don't feel that Baby Dry is worth the money, and Cruisers and Swaddlers are my favorites. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Bye.